And we are back. We're
That's
back
what we get for being
again.
gone so long.
We're back again. Y'all missed my singing. We're back again. It's
Wait, we're
been a
not singing.
while.
We're not saying.
It's been a while since we have been live, ladies. Huh? What do you
Yeah,
guys
together,
do?
back together. Happy New Year, Happy Kwanzaa, Happy Christmas, Happy Hanukkah,
Yeah, it's been a minute.
Happy Thanksgiving,
I haven't
Happy
been live.
anniversary,
You
Happy
guys,
birthday. You know, all
I
that.
haven't been live in a minute. I just been working, head down, working. So I'm excited about going live today, and you'll see me more. Hopefully, I always promise that.
I mean,
Hey,
you brought the cute hair out
listen.
today for sure. Because I'm like feeling it.
I see.
I'm loving your looks, Rand. I'm loving those braids on you. Super awesome.
I'm chilling. You know, I've been in the house for a while, so I got nothing
Yeah.
else to do. But
I see you've been heading out recently.
yeah, just a little bit, not a lot.
Yeah.
Mostly required leaving.
Well, 2023 had some challenges, that's for sure.
Yeah, it's exciting.
That's for sure. Well, I'm super glad to be back, and today I'm super excited about this topic. You know, a lot of times, many people set New Year's resolutions. Some people say, I never set resolutions because whatever, I'm doing everything I'm supposed to do. But people like me, who have to give myself grace and start over, I set resolutions, for, try to exercise more, go live more.
I know. Well, I mean, today we're talking about setting financial goals, right? And
Right.
I talk about the stuff. I saw you went live yesterday too, and you talked about it. Aaliyah, does it too. And so this collaboration of the Millionaire Ladies Mob is just some awesome financial women professionals coming together to talk about topics we're passionate about, because we're all passionate about helping people, men and women, children, families, business owners, to really get a hold on their finances. And that requires time and planning. And so I'm excited to be back together with you all, because doing it by yourself is cool, but when you have a group, we can just collaborate. When you get more than one in the room, you can have synergy, and you can bring your best and I can bring my best, and we can put it together and it can be amazing. And so that's really the excitement for me of us kicking back off, coming back together. For those who watched us over the last 2 years, we were going live every Thursday. Every Thursday. I think we were exhausted, but we're back. We're going to be here every second and fourth Thursday together as a group. But individually, we're probably going to still be going live weekly or daily or every 5 minutes, depending on what topic is important that we need to talk about.
Right. Exactly.
I agree with that. I haven't been live in a minute, and the thing about the last 2 years, it's been just like a whirlwind. So a lot of things have changed in my life, and I'm kind of settled down, and I'm thinking that this year, 2024, is the year that I'm laser focused on what I want and what I want to do, especially in my business, because I was doing everything. I had no direction, do little this, little that. Well, this year I'm planning on doing strategic partners. And, if I can't do something, I know somebody who can. And that's how I'm taking it now, because I can't do everything. I'm not Wonder Woman, and I love 2024 is a year I'm supposed to go traveling. So we're going to keep that in the back burner. Next month, if you see me in South Africa, I went. If you don't, I'll stay here.
Yeah.
I am traveling this year. I actually was working on booking the rest of my flights for this year by Sunday, because there's some sales going on. But yeah, so I'm looking forward to talking about setting goals. As business owners, we set goals, right? And Carmen, I know you set some goals, and Aaliyah, you and I did, and we both set them, and you alluded to some, Carmen. But today we're going to talk to you about setting your financial goals, whether it be personal, business, family, whatever. But when you have finances, we have to treat our personal finances like it's our personal family business. Mm-hmm. Your family is a business, and you have to treat it that way.
That is.
Did we introduce ourselves yet?
I'm sorry.
That is exactly right. We figured they know who we are. We're not going to talk it. We figured they remember us and stuff like that. But for our new followers and our new audience, we can definitely go in and say a little bit about ourselves. For people that are new to our page, we welcome you. We thank you for following us. We ask that you share this information out to others, because it's absolutely important that we teach people about money. That we teach people how money works. There are people that have money, but they don't understand how money works. And there's people that do not have as much money, but could probably do better if they had that financial literacy to go along with it. So yeah, let's go ahead and jump in and kind of introduce ourselves. And then I'm just going to kind of give us a bit of an introduction about what we're talking about. Although Saran told you a little bit about it before, but I want to tell you why it's important. So I can just start since I'm talking. I'm Carmen Bernard. I'm a mom. I'm a grandmom. I'm a wife. This year is going to be 37 years since I've been married. I'm a retired teacher. But I'm in the public school systems, because right now what I am is a teacher. Right. Mm-hmm. And there's a saying that says once a teacher, always a teacher. And I think that's what it is. Right. I now get to teach. I get the privilege of teaching what is really important. And that's financial literacy. So I'm happy to be back, guys. Give us a like, give us a follow. And I'm going to let my fellow sisters introduce themselves.
I'll go next. My name is Aaliyah Sherrod. I am now living in a city called Buckeye, Arizona, which I absolutely love, the desert. I am the healthcare queen. I am laser focused on helping families, individuals, and I do small businesses find the best and affordable healthcare for them. We know, and the last year I can attest to it, I have heard and seen so many tragic stories. I want to make sure that I help as many people as I can take advantage of, government subsidies that we all have. Take advantage of it, and then help our sisters build businesses. So that's me, healthcare queen. I'm out of Buckeye, Arizona. I was raised in California, but now I'm an Arizonan. So I love it.
I love it. Well, I am your girl, Saran. I'm here in Bowie, Maryland. And what I do as a financial professional is I help high achieving, high earning women and wealth creators go from chaos to calm in their finances. Chaos standing for can't handle any obstacle sent, and calm meaning control, abundance, legacy, and mastery. And that's how I help women with their finances. So I'm excited to be back with my fellow financial queens, as we are here to help you learn to set some goals.
Yep.
That's right. And we are the Millionaire Ladies Mom. So we wanted to talk to you a little bit about financial goals and defining financial goals. Financial goals are specific objectives that and targets that are related to you, to your family's individual financial well-being. These goals provide a roadmap for managing finances, for making strategic decisions, to help you to achieve the desired outcome. And without those goals, without that roadmap, you don't know where you're going. You don't know how to get to where you want to go, right? Most of us do not leave home without a GPS, right? And consider us, that is what we're doing today. We're making sure that we have the GPS set up to help us, to guide us into making informed choices that aligns with our priorities, our family's priorities, and our values, to be able to get us to where we want to be, right? So I want to ask you why. Well, I want you to tell the people. I pose this question to you, Saran. Why do you think financial goals are crucial for financial success? Why do we need a goal? We have a job, we get the money, we pay the bills or whatever. Why do we need financial goals? Why is that crucial for our success?
Well, there's a couple different reasons that it's crucial, because the first thing is, I'll lead with a story. If I told you I live in Maryland and then I say, hey, I want to take a trip to Delaware, but I don't have a plan to get there. I don't know how I'm going to drive there. I don't have a car. I don't have money for gas. I don't know who I'm going to see, and I don't know what I'm going to do. Well, in that instance, that it gives you a clear example of why you need a plan for your money, because I said I want to go to Delaware, but I got none of the other pieces to go into the plan on how to get there. So are you going to magically appear in Delaware? You're going to snap your fingers and get there? Or do you need to know what vehicle you're using? Do you need to know how much gas you need? Do you need to know if there's tolls going to be on that road? Do you need to know if the people you want to visit or hang out with, they're even going to be home? That's the planning part of the money. And so in that example, we go earn the money. We know we're going to Delaware. We know we're going to earn the money. But then when we get the money, we don't have any plans for that money. And because that money doesn't have a job or a plan or a destination, it disappears. And we all have experienced this. You've gotten bonuses or raises and you're like, what happened to the money? Because you never gave that money any type of direction. It went wherever it wanted to go. It just kind of dissipated into the atmosphere, if you will, because it didn't have any direction. And so the important part of what we do is that we have to set a plan for every dollar. So even if the plan for that dollar is fun, right? So let's be clear, we're not taking the fun out of it. That dollar could be planned. I just told y'all I'm planning on paying for the rest of trying to get flights for the rest of my travel for this year. I have a plan for that money. My plan is that I'm going to pay for my travel. That's fun. If your plan is that you just want to pay bills, that's a plan. If your plan is a portion of bills, a portion of savings, a portion of investment, a portion to kids' schools, a portion to whatever it is you want, that's where the financial tools, like as basic as a spreadsheet or even a piece of paper to write down the plan, comes. All these a billion apps that didn't exist 25 years ago. That's why it's important to have a plan.
Man, you hit a lot of good reasons there. Ali, you have anything else to add to that?
Oh, I tell you, I think I remember we had this conversation on our show probably a year or two ago. When I was growing up, I really just spent money just spent it. I didn't have a plan. I just knew my checking account was positive. There it went. And so as I got older, I started realizing, I need a budget. I need to plan. I need to make sure that everything is covered. And when I want to go do something, I can take care of that also. And as a mother, and part of that adulthood, I was a single parent, and then I was married. But you have to plan for your kids. You have to plan and help them to understand. Money just doesn't come out of that ATM because you walk up to it.
Wait, that's not how it works.
You know what? That's not how it works. And we shouldn't be walking up to the ATM now anyway. It's really right now planning and making sure that you're financially stable in this life today is very difficult because there's so many things that are coming at us. There's illness, there's sickness, there's family problems, there's babies being born in your family, there's grandkids, and I just dote on my grandkids, but having a plan is so important if you're going to survive, because let's just say you lose your job. If you have a job, let's say you lose that job or you don't get paid a paycheck and you don't have a plan or something set aside to make your mortgage payments, to pay, gas became very expensive for a minute. The other day I went and got gas and it was $2.99 a gallon. I was so excited.
Yes.
A plan. You have to have a plan in life. And if you're haphazardly going through life, that's how everything is going to happen for you, haphazardly. You got to have a plan. And as I got older, I was able to implement a plan. And you guys said spreadsheet. I have a very detailed spreadsheet. I know where every cent goes of my money. And I made sure that last year, based on some of the tips that you guys gave the year before last, and I have been very good at it, and it works. A plan works. A guide, a financial roadmap, it really works.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, what I'm hearing from both of you, you know, that plan provides a clear destination, right? And helps people to stay focused and also makes you motivated. Because you know, when you have goals set and then you have targets along those goals and you can see yourself moving, you're motivated. Yes, I'm getting there, right? So financial goals gives you a sense of purpose and direction in your financial journey, right? Setting those goals allow individuals to basically allocate your resources, like Saran says, making sure that your money have a job, something to do, right? It's important that we ensure that that money is directed to the most important and impactful objectives, is what I heard you guys say, right? And we said that financial goals serve as a benchmark. That's the reason why we're talking about this. It's actually important for us to talk about this, that it's not foreign to sit down and talk about money and plan for your money, right? And then it enables us, by setting those goals, we're able to measure, right? If you can't know if you're making any progress if you can't measure, right? If you don't know where you started, you don't know where you're planning to go. So financial goals, you know, instills like discipline by encouraging people to do just what we were just talking about: spending responsibly, making sure our money has some place to go, and things like that.
You know what's cool? I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
Interrupt. So you know what's cool? I went through an exercise earlier this week with one of my coaches, and the thing is that, you know, we should think about, what are your top 3 goals for the year? And it doesn't have to be a financial. What are the top 3 things you know you want to get done this year? You know, write that down on the piece of paper. And once you write it down, then you're going to write down, what do you think it's going to take to get those 3 things done for the year, right? And then think about what are going to be your obstacles to getting it done. And get honest with yourself, because we're not sitting there with you asking you for the answers, but get honest with yourself. And then find an accountability partner that's going to help you overcome those obstacles. Because at the end of the day, when I did that exercise, I wrote down my 3 things, I shared, and then I wrote down my obstacles. And when I got really honest with myself about what my obstacles were, I was able to rebuild trust with myself, because I was honest with me, right? A lot of times we have a hard time with our money because we've lost trust in ourselves, because we said we were going to do something. We said we were going to do it. We said we were going to do it, and we never did it. And so it's almost like chopping down a tree. Every time you say you're going to do something, you don't do it. It's like it's an axe hitting a tree, and then you just keep hitting it, and you keep hitting it. And then eventually it'll tilt over, right? And then you won't have any trust in yourself. And then that kind of takes out of your ability to do things. But the good news is you can rebuild that trust by doing one small thing every time you say you're going to do it, and to move yourself to that destination. And so it's not even as complicated as saying, I'm going to plan my money. Tell me what the things are you say you want to accomplish this year. And then we'll back into the money part, right? Because that makes it more fun. For facts, I am going to go somewhere every month this year. So my budget is totally surrounded around me going somewhere every month. Now, that's not the same as last year. Last year, I was stacking money for retirement. I was setting up accounts. I was getting things in order, getting things the way I wanted for retirement. But this year, I'm out.
Let me ask you a question. When you say you want to go somewhere every month, do you want to go like foreign travel, just anywhere in the United States, just fun stuff?
Somewhere that's not home.
Okay.
But you know, Saran, listen, couple of things that stood out with me as you were speaking, right? When you don't have a plan, when you want to do something, but you're not getting it, it can become discouraging. So like you said, right, write these goals down, right? These financial goals help us to kind of set that roadmap to remind us of what we said, what was understanding your true North Star, where it is that you want to get to, right? It acts as a reminder. Our goals, these financial goals, act as a reminder of the bigger picture, right? And that also discourages from being impulsive spenders. Now, Saranja said that she's traveling this year, even and Aaliyah too. She's traveling, right? But last year she had some different goals. So that's the other thing. Financial goals can be adjusted based on circumstances, based on changing circumstances, right? Even when we have something planned, we have to allow for flexibility. If something happens that we might have to switch up a little bit, but what financial goals do is provide a framework, that thing for us to keep us inside, prevent us from going out and do something else when we knew we want to travel. But if we are spending the money someplace else, then we can't travel. Then it brings disappointment and stuff like that. So
it's the why factor. It's the why factor. Why did I set these goals?
Right.
Because if I say my 3 goals, I was trying to look for my paper to, so, one of my top goals was physical and mental strength to rebuild myself. You all know I was in a car accident in September and I'm still rebuilding a lot of different, things from that. So mine is physical and mental strength. Well, what does it take for me to do that? Well, I'm going to need to do some type of cardio and strength training each day of the week. It's not as simple as 2 or 3 days a week. I have to do a little bit more, right? And then, okay, so what does that mean financially? Because I know I need to do that. Well, that means that I need to have healthier meals, which means that my grocery bill may be a little bit higher. Also need to have a gym membership or some type of physical trainer or things like that. So that's how you back into the financial component. So then now that requires some finance, right? Then one of the other ones was surrounding some things I want to do in my business. Okay, well, what does that mean cost-wise in my business expenses? And the one I shared with you, travel, the goal wasn't travel. The goal was I want to have fun all year long. And I said, I'm going to do it through travel. So how does that correlate financially? That means if I'm going to go somewhere every month, then I need to be trying to catch the sale when the Southwest is having sales on flights where I want to go for things I want to do, so I can save a couple dollars and use the dollars other places. But it means that I'm planned out for the year on things and spaces and places that I want to be, so that I can watch for trips for things I know I want to do in December. I'm planning to set aside the funds to do those things. But if you don't, and that makes it easy for me, it's easier for me to plan my finances. And this may be true for a lot of people. It's easier for me to plan my finances based on what I actually want to do and the life I actually want to create versus sitting down and saying, oh, this is my income, these are my expenses, and these are my expenses and my bills, and this is what I have to pay. And that's it. And and that's blah to me, right? Because it doesn't have an end goal that I can get behind, I can get excited. I want to be able to easily say in January 2025, I hit my goal and was able to travel somewhere most of the months of 2024. Now, January is out because I'm not physically ready to travel. But February is on. I already planned a trip. I'm out, So, but the thing is that if we think about the traditional way that financial planners and experts like ourselves, and it's no shame to them, we talk about the numbers and the things like that. And I hear people say, oh, I suck at math. I don't do math. I don't do algebra and trig and all that, but I do money, right? But when I start talking about something I'm excited about and something I want to do and something I want to see or some places I want to be or some people I want to be with for whatever the reason, then I can get excited. And it's easy for me to say, well, I'm not eating out lunch,
right.
But once a week because I'm moving this money to my travel budget, or I'm not doing XYZ because I want this to go focus on this. And it's not always about cutting because you can always make more money, right? But it is about having a plan. And that's where the excitement around money comes for me, because I see it as an avenue to do what I want to do, not what I have to do.
Mm-hmm. I like that. You said something earlier. You said it becomes, when you just worry about bills and pay this and do that, it becomes blah. And I have to attest to that. It does become blah. When COVID hit in 2020, my life became blah. I enjoyed being in the house. Most people don't. I enjoyed being in the house by myself. I enjoyed that. And I had to get myself out of that because to set some goals for myself to get out in the fresh air, I need some vitamin D. You have to get out in the sunlight. You can't be afraid. And what you said, traveling, I was afraid to travel. I was afraid to get on an airplane with a bunch of people, and I still wear my mask. I know a lot of people don't. I still wear my mask when I go out because I have a mom who's older, and then I just don't want to get sick. I have not had the COVID, so I don't want to get sick, and it is really fearful for me. So I had to overcome that fear and say, listen, get up, go somewhere, do something, and that's my plan. That is a plan. You've got to plan it. So I planned a trip last year, and we're supposed to be leaving in February, and it's a planned trip. It's all paid for, everything. And now I just gotta get over myself and get on that plane for 14 hours or whatever it is, and and get over myself. And that's a plan. I do plan this year, travel. Well, I do. I go to California maybe once every other month. I tried to go once a month, but I had so many things to do around my home. And there's constant open enrollments for me. And because I'm in healthcare, I'm in insurance, I love life insurance. I love the finances, but I have a passion for helping people with their healthcare. People do not understand it. And just the last couple of weeks, my heart goes out to so many people because they don't know what they have. They don't know how it works. They don't know if they can go to a doctor. So they didn't plan. All they did was that they saw something. Oh, I don't have to pay anything. That's the best plan for me. Well, then try to use it. See what happens, and those are the things that I enjoy. I enjoy helping people, making sure that they do what's right for their family. Planning is the key. If you don't plan, you sometimes people make it without planning, but most of the time you just are haphazard going through life without a plan, without any structure. And you're just going, okay? When something happens in the road, you get sick or somebody does something different, something happens, you're not ready for it. So I agree with you.
So listen, I think they got it. I think they understand why it's important, right? Why planning, defining your goals, financial or otherwise, is absolutely important. But people want to know, well, how do I do this, right? So I want to shift us to talking a little bit about the difference in goals, right? Short-term goals, mid-term goals, long-term goals. Who wants to take that one?
Well, what came to my brain when you said long-term, short-term. So I think about long-term care. That's a long-term goal.
Yeah.
Short-term care. Most people don't know it's available. Short-term care is for the immediate short term. So those goals, the short-term goals, should be those that'll get you to your long-term goals. That's my thought.
Mm-hmm. Well, and I think it's a little bit different from my perspective. My goals for this year are what I consider short-term goals, right? And the things I worked on last year for myself and for my clients were more long-term focused. They were, okay, what are you going to do what's your plan if you're going to be retiring in the next 15 years? How are we going to map that out, right? What do we need to start with? What are the monthly contributions we need to do to build you up to the retirement amount that you need? Oh, and you have kids. What's the plan for planning for them to go to college? We don't know because they're little now, right? But what's the plan? Because we still should be prepared if they want to go to college or have a gap year or whatever they'll be doing, 18 years from now when kids graduate school, because, it's changing per generation, right? Yeah. Okay, great. And my favorite are my people who are still trying to get out of student loan debt because they don't qualify for any of the public student loan forgiveness programs. Uncle Joe's program is stuck in court. And what am I going to do with these 6 figures in student loans? Well, we got to come up with a plan for that. That's a long-term plan that can be set up where you can set it up to try to get, especially with your debt. You want to, and we all specialize and we do a little bit, to that degree where we're helping people get out of debt. Okay, maybe you don't have a house that you've purchased. Well, that might be a long-term goal, depending on how much you want to save, how much you want to move forward. If you're trying to wait out the Fed dropping the interest rates a little bit more and there being more houses available. So it just depends on what it is. Short term could be, let me get my credit together, because you could get your credit together in a year depending on how much debt you have, how much damage you did, right? How much damage you did and what needs to be done to repair it. For most people, it can be done within 12 months, right? Yeah. And I'm not reaching for the sky. It really can be if you're willing to take the steps necessary to make the changes to do it, right? But when I look at it, you can separate the short term, the long term, and the immediate. You can even add immediate. Immediately is this month I got to make sure my mortgage is paid, my car note is paid, my car insurance is paid, I have food. For me, I got to buy 2 plane tickets to some places I'm going, things like that. I got to get the dog groomed. Not big costs, but there's still things that I know that I'm going to spend, that I'm directing my money to, because my money I already know where my money's going for the rest of the year because I've already planned it out. And you're probably like, oh my God, it's not really, because most things are it's not really that much. Most things we do in our lives financially are duplicate from paycheck to paycheck or from month to month. Mm-hmm. Right? Let's talk about it. We're always going to we got to pay for where we live, right? Unless you have another plan, you should come on the video and tell us how we can do that for free. But we have to pay for where we live. We may need to pay for transportation, be it a car or public transportation. You still have to pay for it, right? You're going to need gas in that car. You're going to have car insurance because that's the right thing to do. And there's fines and things that come with not doing it. And it's dangerous. But so you need to have your car insurance. You need to have your life insurance and your health insurance. Those are things that you're going to need to pay for every month. And you got to eat. So, you're gonna, those things are going to happen. Those are the regular day-to-day month things you're going to need to pay for in your life, right? And I probably left some things out because depending on your life, you're going to have some other standard things. If you have small kids, you might have daycare or whatever, right? After school programs, all those things that come along with being a parent. Those things you have to do. So that's how you can plan. All right, for this year, I know I got to spend. If your rent's $1,000 a month, you're still in a good place. That's awesome. But I'm using small numbers. $12,000 of whatever your salary for the year is going to rent. That if your rent is $1,000. It's just simple math. It's multiplication, addition, and division. That's it. We're not talking calculus or nothing like that. I think I got kicked out of a few of those classes at college, but I can do money math. So you can already do that, and you can literally see with a tool we use called a spend plan, where you can look and see what do you need to spend all year. What's the average cost of your lights, your gas, your water, your utilities. You can get an idea, and you already can know in the beginning of the year how much money is going to be allocated to those things for the year. And it's an oversimplification, but it's something that can help you in the long run and allow you more flexibility for your fun stuff because you already have some baseline things taken care of.
Wow, that's good.
Yeah, I actually, both of you hit the nail on the head. You actually gave examples, just to kind of wrap it up when we're talking short-term goals. And you heard Saran, things that can be done in less than a year. We're talking 12 months or less, right? So starting that emergency fund, that vacation fund that Saran is talking about, just thinking about some debt repayment or things like that, those things that can be done in a year, like she talked about working on the credit and things like that, things that can be done. Those are your short-term goals. So you want to write that down, separate that, and know what is going toward that, know what's going toward your midterm goals. Now, your midterm goals would be things like maybe 1 to 5 years, 1 to 5 years. In that, we're talking about things like saving for a down payment on a home or something like that, or funding education. You have a 13-year-old, they're getting ready to go to college. Hopefully you've been following us and you know that you need to start when they were 2 weeks old, but the next best time is now, right?
Right.
So
next time.
next best time right now. So like funding education, or even starting a small business. You want to start a business in the next, year to 2 to 3 years to 5 years. Those are all things that could fit in the midterm goals. And the great reason to do that is that you don't kind of jumble everything together. And what happened? Did I lose everybody? Hope I'm still here.
I was playing around with it. Keep talking.
You don't put everything together, so you put them in different categories. Short-term goals, your midterm goals, and then there's your long-term goals, things that extend beyond 5 years, right? We're talking about things like your retirement savings, like long-term care. We're talking about things like maybe purchasing a home, or even paying down on your mortgage and stuff like that. Newsflash, secret, this is what we help you to do, right? And also building substantial wealth. These are things that would go into your long-term goals, right? These financial goals are basically your way of setting up that roadmap to be able to achieve those specific things. What kind of questions should people be asking themselves when thinking about their financial goals? Because one of the things I wanted to say, right, as you think about your financial goals, you also want to make sure that those goals align with your values, right? With and with whatever it is that you have going on for you. So what kind of questions should people be asking themselves?
I think one of the questions, Carmen, for sure, you have to know what your goals are. What are your goals? Are you just sailing through life? And then you have to think about, does your spouse have the same goals? If he's going one way and you're going another way, you have to think about that. So, sit down, talk about those things. If your financial goal, is, being maybe, independently wealthy, then do you have the job that's going to get you there? Do you have the business that's going to get you to your goal? We don't think about that kind of stuff. We just go and get a job, and maybe this job pays us enough. But how are we going to get to the financially secure goals? That's my thought. But you have to be on the same page as your family, because maybe that spouse doesn't have the same goal. Maybe their goal is to be just physically fit, and that's it. And, not worry about money. Remember when the flower children there was a flower children, and you go on the island and you just everything was free and free love, and people were just doing whatever they wanted to do. You got to have some kind of structure, but you got to know where you're going. You got to know what your goals are. If you don't know what your goals are, you can't hit them. You can't get to them. That's just my thought.
Yeah. I would think that you got to understand and know what's most important to you. What do you think?
Yep.
Yeah. So, and the thing I was going to say, I love what you said. Now, first of all, let's say I wasn't born when the flower children were around, because I am only 37. No jokes. But I really wasn't born when the flower children were around, but I've seen videos. Mm-hmm. But the thing is, you want to ask yourself, honestly, where do I want to be in life? Who do I want to be? Instead of, scrolling Instagram and social media and saying, oh man, look at their lives. It's great. I wish I had that life. Sit down, turn off the social media, turn your phone off, turn your computer off, and sit down and decide who you want to be. And then make goals based on who you want to be. Now, it could be similar to what you see other people doing, but until you take the time to decide who you want to be, then it makes it hard for you to set concrete, clear goals on where you want your finances to go. One of the things I told you, I worked on my retirement last year, but that's because I decided I don't want to be a bag lady in New York during retirement. And it sounds funny, but it's a real thing. As an African-American woman, we can look around and see people are living so much longer, especially women, because we're taking care of ourselves. We got an air fryer, we got sea moss, we got all our nutrients and vitamins. We got a a cabinet full of herbs to make herbal tea and heal ourselves and bring ourselves back to life and do things. We're walking every day. We're doing all the things to create longevity, right? Ironically, I went to Virginia State University, and there's a video going viral right now. Some of my classmates, where they showed a picture of them in the 90s. They were the cheerleaders called the Woo Woo, a picture of them in the 90s and videos of them in the 90s. And they compared it to videos of them today, and they look exactly the same.
Yep.
And even they look even better. They look exactly the same, right? These are 48, 49, 50-year-old women who look just like their 20-something-year-old selves, right? And so this is a clear example of how we are living a better, healthier life than maybe our elders did. And we're living longer and we're enjoying life longer. So that's why I know my goal is not to be a bag lady in New York. So I have to have finances to take care of me well into my 90s, just in case.
Or even a greeter at Walmart. I don't want to do that.
I don't want to do that either. So, I mean, that job's not going to be around. That job's not going to be around for much longer. I mean, the way AI is going to be checking you out at Walmart, right? The drone's going to be dropping it at your house. You're never going to go into a store again. But those are the things that I think a lot of times people get mixed up in who they want to be. And then their financial goals kind of go awry because they're trying to be everything to everybody.
Right.
And oh, by the way, and I'm actually working with a colleague, we're going to do a video on this, is the family tax that we pay if we're the successful one, that additional money that comes from the I need your help, my car broke down, my electric's got to get cut off, the questions that get called to maybe the person who may be doing better, a little bit better than others, that actually can put you at a level of poverty because you keep saying yes, right? And so those are the things that we have to start thinking about because we have to get all the way. We can't get halfway to the top and do certain things. We have to get all the way where it is we want to be and give from our abundance versus giving from our lack. Mm-hmm. And I talk about this a lot, and we have to get to the place and feel confident and okay with saying no. And it's hard to say no because we want to be there for the people that we love, but we also have to make sure that we're creating boundaries and keeping the boundaries so that we can make sure our financial health is okay.
That's right. Another thing I thought about, Carmen and Saran, what if we have been given the privilege of making sure our family legacy lives on?
Yeah.
I thought about that, the lady who had the plot of land and they kept trying to take it away from her. She bore a big responsibility. It had been in her family for many generations. And all she wanted to do was keep it in her family. What if you've got a responsibility like that? You got to plan for that kind of stuff because it could drop in your lap at one point in your life. If you're the person that's responsible, you may have the responsibility of carrying the family legacy for next generation.
Or creating it.
Yep.
Or creating it. And that's what we teach you to do. But you know what? That is absolutely important, what you said. People understanding what is most important to them and understanding and creating those goals based on their values, right? It's important to Saran that she doesn't be a bag lady in New York or wherever, right? What is important to you? Is it important to you that your children are taken care of if something were to happen to you, right? Well, there's a plan for that. There's an app for that. You have to plan for that.
There's an app for that.
You have to plan for that, right? Is it important that you do secure that legacy and pass that on to the next generation? Is that important? Well, you have to plan for that. Is it important to you that your family is not doing fish fries and GoFundMes and all sorts of things in order to take care of your final expenses? Well, you have to plan for that. And final expenses does not only include just a cremation or just the burial plot and a coffin or whatever. It does not only include that. There's so much more that has to go along with that. right? You might not care, but your family probably want to be able to celebrate your life. People might be, you might have children out in um, other states attending colleges that now have to come home in an emergency, that have to fly home. Those are all part of things that have to be accounted for in final expenses. Well, guess what? If that is important to you, if that is one of your values, that you make sure that your family is taken care of, not only now, but at any time in the future. You don't even have to die. That's my thing. I always say, it's my thing is basically not what if you die, it's what if you don't die.
Right.
What if you don't die? Well, there's a plan. You have to make a plan for that. And I'm really, really happy that we are able to have these conversations, because it makes it easier for people to, one, think about it so that they can, and to talk about it, right? I know right now for a fact, there are people who are facing, they're at death's door, but they still don't want to talk about it, right? They're still like, what, are you trying to take me out? Are you trying to take my money? But it's going to be so much easier if you plan for it. We've got to normalize these conversations around money, around financial goals, around estate planning, death and dying, building wealth. We've got to normalize these conversations. And that's the reason why I'm happy that we are back.
And normal people. We're normal people.
Wait a minute, I'm not normal. I'm definitely crazy.
What I'm saying is, like a celebrity, like those celebrities. I'm thinking about a very, very popular gymnast who had to go in the hospital and didn't have insurance. What in the world? How do you not plan for that? And super, super sick. GoFundMe all over the place. And I read an article about that. It was just too expensive. So planning, even when you're celebrities, celebrities, you think their life is just perfect. It's not. You're on the outside looking in. And then we have to plan. People get depressed. Mental illness is rampant. People get depressed. You got to plan for things. If you have a mental breakdown, what's the plan? What is the plan? Somebody's got to take care of stuff for you. So it's just, there's so much. I just been thinking about so much stuff. And when I look and see the examples of some of the people that are supposedly celebrities, I think I'm a normal person. I'm a normal person. But when I look at the celebrities, I'm thinking, you guys got to have it all together. And they really don't. So I'm like, okay.
I'm in Atlanta, and we're all celebrities in Atlanta.
I was saying, I don't know what's going on. I am definitely a celebrity, all up and through here. All the way from off the wall that you see.
What does the S mean behind you, Saran? The S. Is that for your first name?
Saran.
Okay. All right. That's that. Okay. I'm like Superwoman.
Straight celebrity to think about with your budget. But the biggest thing is, you don't have to go alone. I think if I had to name one of the biggest mistakes I felt like I made with my financial life, it was going it alone. It was not taking the time to get a coach, pay for a coach, pay for a financial planner, pay for people, invest in the time for someone who does this every day to help me along my journey. And now I do just that. Even though I do it for other people, I still have someone else look at my stuff from the outside because they see things differently than I do. Now I still do
like
whatever,
whatever
I want to do, right? But I listen, but I still get to do what I want because it's about guidance and access to information that, we wouldn't have. Many people in our industry, well, I shouldn't say many, everyone in our industry is required to have some type of license, some type of certification, some type of something to go behind their name that says you are legally able to assist people with their finances. And so that's why it's important to not go it alone. I always laugh because, in the African American community. I don't get it, but they say, hey, I'll call a friend and say, I gotta call you back. I gotta clean up. The maid's coming tomorrow. What are you cleaning up for? The maid's coming. Or, oh man, I got to get myself together. I'm going to the gym to see the trainer. What are you getting it together before you go to see the trainer? Isn't that what you're paying them for? Or let me do my hair before the hairdresser gets here. Is this making sense? It's not. So, and I get it. We feel like we don't want people to see us at our worst or see our homes at our worst or whatever it is. But that's what you pay them for. And people always tell me, I'm gonna get myself together. And I'm gonna call you. What did you get yourself together before? I'm the one that's supposed to help you get yourself together. But that's really the thing. And so we're here, and we provide this free platform for you for information to get you thinking, to get you to think about moving forward and working with either one of us or one of our colleagues or someone. Because the thing is that our people fail for lack of knowledge. Right. We just don't have the knowledge. Mom and them, didn't know what they didn't know. They taught us what they knew, but they didn't know what they didn't know. And the thing is that we have to go higher and get more information and get in these rooms and have the conversations. And don't let the buck stop with just, okay, I got a financial person. Now I'm just going to do whatever they say. No, get a financial person that's going to continue to educate you throughout the process. Someone that's going to continue to pour into you so that you can learn more, especially if you have a family, because then you become the financial ambassador for your family and you can teach your family and then bring them into the fold and get things going, because this really is a family financial hustle if you make it that way. If you put it together and make it that, hey, we're climbing to the top. Everybody wants to talk about the Rockefellers and the Rothschilds, but they got a airtight game plan for their family for centuries. Okay. And so we just have to start. We can do that too. We just have to start.
That's exactly right. And the information is out here. The information is here. We just have to be critical. We just have use critical analysis to analyze the information. Make sure we're not saying we want you to get with a financial professional to talk about this, because it's absolutely important. You can speak with us. You can speak with any of our colleagues. So a lot of times we share each other's pages and businesses and things like that. But even if you don't want us, find someone that you can trust and analyze the information so that you will end up being able to make good decisions, good financial decisions for your family. Because listen, financial illiteracy is the number one epidemic in not just this country, but in the world.
It should be taught in school. I mean, we should teach our children how to balance a checkbook, but not anymore. We don't have checkbooks anymore.
That's just it. No, they teach the children how to balance a checkbook, but that is not enough. That is not that's like the basic. You know how I know? That's what I used to do, because that was what was on the curriculum. It
wasn't on our curriculum in school. We didn't get that knowledge. I knew biology. I loved biology. I loved history. Loved it. But they didn't teach me how to do finances and things like that.
Well, listen, you can know how to balance a checkbook all you want to, but if you do not know how money works, it's not going to help you.
That's key. Well, that should be taught in school. It should be taught.
I think they teach us that, but it's by design that they don't teach us that. This world runs on debt.
Yeah.
And debt and taxes. So the more that we can be in the not know about these things, that's how the money keeps being generated, not where we are. So we have to understand that. The banks, of course, the bank would agree for you to learn how to balance your checkbook. But would they agree for you to be able to understand that when you put that money in the bank, that and they give you 1% or 0.5% or 0.25% interest, and then they take that money and rent it out at 24% and 30%? You know, those are the kind of things that we have to understand.
Yeah.
They're teaching, you know, get a house, get a home. Listen, I'm not telling anybody not to get a home, but let me, you know, there are certain things. I think Saran said it earlier. If you know how to live free, let us know. Well, listen to me. You want to keep listening. You want to keep listening to us, because young people, you can live for free. You just can't live for free by buying a home that you cannot afford. But you can buy a home that is, you know, 2 doors, 4 doors, whatever, and have the other 3 people pay for that home while you live in it for free. And now you take that money and put that towards retirement, put that towards growing wealth, put that towards your long-term savings, put that towards those other things. There are ways to do these things. You can live for free, right? Banks understand that liabilities, they have to have liabilities on their books, lending out stuff. That's what makes them wealthy. We have to understand that too. Our home, when we talk about assets, we want to talk about assets that are income producing. You know what? We're getting off topic, but
because we're passionate. It's the passion.
We're getting
I
off
think
topic.
you're getting off topic. We're still here on topic, waiting for you to come on back.
Okay, I am getting off topic, but you know, next week, not next week, 2 weeks from now, join us. We should be talking about budgeting, because it's all about foundation and basics. And we are going to continue to give. They say people have to hear the message 7 and 8 times before they 17 times before they take action. So we are going to continue to come and give educate you, give informational things. It's not specific information to you. You would want to call us so that we can talk about that. But I think this was wonderful today. Given lots of things for people to think about, right? Because there are many people, you know, I had one person said to me before, I never had a budget in my life. And I was talking to someone in their 60s. So it's important that we do this, what we are doing. And I want to say thank you guys for being here with me, because as Saran says, it's good doing it by yourself, but it's even better. How's that song go? I'm a force by myself, but I'm a something when we're together.
I'm a movement by myself, but a force when we're together.
Something like that. But that's what we are.
You want me to sing it? I'm a movement by myself, but a force when we're together. I can't sing. Y'all don't pay me for that.
Something like that. But I miss us. I'm glad we're back. And even though we may veer off to talk about other things that need its own show, trust me, we'll be back with it later.
So
Carmen Bernard.
Next time. Go ahead, Carmen Bernard.
I'm Carmen Bernard. I'm located here in outside Atlanta, Georgia. But I'm the Southern connection of the Millionaire Ladies Mob. And you can reach me at carmen10k.com. Not only do we tell people or inform people about this, but we show people how to do what we are doing. And right now, we are accepting people to come, and you don't have to have the experience in doing this. We will teach you, because there's so many people that need to learn this information. We want you with us to learn this information and be able to give out this information. And guess what? You get paid for it handsomely.
Go ahead, Leah.
Oh, so I'm listening to Carmen. I'm Aaliyah Sherrod. Thank you so much for listening. I'm the healthcare queen, and I help you make the right choice for your healthcare, for you and your family. Thank you so much for joining us and listening to us, because it has been a wild ride the last 2 years, and I'm glad we're back. I'm so happy we're back.
And I am your girl, Saran. I am here. I am your financial wealth strategist, and I help women and wealth creators to go from chaos to calm in their finances. You can connect with me by going to joinsaran.com and clicking on the button that says join, and you can join me on all my platforms where I provide additional education on finances every week. And so we're looking forward to being back with you again in 2 weeks. I don't know the date. I don't have my calendar for me, but we'll be back and we're going to talk a little bit about budgeting. We're going to get into the nitty gritty. Now, remember, this is not specific to you. This is general information. If you want specifics, reach out to one of us and we can give you something specific.
Yes. Bye.
Have a great day.
Thank you.
Bye. All right. See you guys.